while, we're going to do a car racing game as our task. And in this task, we're actually going to play a game against other cars. So I'm actually going to start with the simulator first to actually show you exactly how this operates. So imagine this is a car and these are the cars driving down the street. So I have to avoid hitting the cars, which I've just done. And once I do that, it tells me game over. And then it provides me with the score. And my score was not very good. It was 4. Okay, so I'm going to reset the game again. And this time, so there's a car. And I'm going to try and avoid the cars on the road. Okay, so I've hit. So let's see what my score was this time. Game over. Score 9. Okay, so now that you get the idea of what the game is, I'm going to actually go through the code that I've provided you in the booklet. So the first part, which I'll go through, is the forever main program. And you can see here, I'll just zoom into it a little bit. You can see here that the idea of the game is to forever set the score to 0. It starts at 0. And then I've made a variable, and you remember how to make variables. You make a variable and type in whatever the name is. So if I wanted to do player car, and then I'd press OK, and I've made lots of variables, player car, and so on, and I'll go through the rest of these. So set player car, so that's me, that I'm the player, and we're going to create a sprite. We're going to create this little animation, this little icon to start at the coordinates 2, 4. So that 2, 4 is my car is going to start there. And if I start at the beginning, you can see that he starts there. Okay, so I'm also going to set the game when the game is on. When it's on, it's to be, yes it is, to true. And while it's on, I'm going to pause for a 0.1 of a second, and then I'm going to change the score. I'm going to add to the score. So it'd be score, and I'd add to the score, and then at the end of that score, it'd be game over. So that's the forever part. Now, let me just go to the buttons. Now, button A is, if you can see here, button A is if I'm the player on the x-axis, and if the x-axis is less than 4, then I can go to the negative side, and if I press button B, I'm going to go to the positive side. So make sure that I'm going to, the negative is A and the positive is B, and that just means that if I press play, that's negative, that's positive. Okay, now that I've shown you that, I'm going to show you the rest of the game. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I can show you this in its entirety. Okay, so this forever loop, there's several of them. They're all the same except for the variable. So in this forever loop, it says to pause for 0.1 of a second, and then it says if the game is on, and it is, set my car 0, so the first car, to be on 0, 0. Now, if you take a look at the coordinates, 0, 0 is up here. There you go, 0, 0. So my first car is going to start there. Then it's going to pause, and it's only going to come out on a random second. And so that gives us that sort of spontaneity of the car just popping out whenever we want it to. While game on is true, if car 0 is on the y coordinate, any of the 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I, the player, is touching that car, then it's false and it's going to set a score, or if I pass it, it's going to add 1. So it's going to be false, I'm going to lose. And if I do pass it, I'm going to add 1 point. Okay, and then it's going to pause again, and then it's going to change the y coordinate by 1, and it's going to go around again. So there's going to be a car falling down here, and that's car 0. What I have to do then is, if I duplicate this whole entire block, what will happen is I can make the rest of them. So this is a duplicated block, but now I've changed all the car zeros to car 1. So there's a car 1, there's a car 1, there's a car 1, there's a car 1, and there's a car 1. So this one has now got a location of a different coordinate. So if you could see here, this sprite for car 0 was XY00. This one here is 10, so it's over here. So if I get that to show, I might just play it. You can see here, that's 10. Okay, and see how that's falling? So if you can see here, it does the same thing. So if it's touching car 1, then if I touch it, I lose. And if not, it adds 1 point. So if I avoid it, it adds 1 point. Okay, and then I've copied it for all the other codes. So if I take a look at this one here, this is car 2. Car 2 is at x0, 2x, and 2 is x and y is 0. And if you take a look, that's car 2 falling, and this is car 3, and that's car 3 falling, and the last car 4 falling. Okay, so that's 4 0, 3 0, 2 0, 1 0, 0 0. Okay, so read the code that's in the booklet because it has a lot of detail. If it doesn't work, it means that you're missing something. So make sure you go and troubleshoot the code through each one. Again, all you have to do is make sure that you copy down the code exactly the way I have presented it to you, and then give it a go.